Hey guys, welcome to the next part of my Arkham Knight Glitchless tutorial. So if you recall, we just went through Panessa and fought all the Jokers, and then locked Robin in Batman's cell. So now, before we get started, I want to sort of point out one thing you need to start watching out for, is right now we have 3 upgrade points, and ultimately we want to get a 4th upgrade, which is the turret shot damage. So pay attention to your XP meter for when you get this 4th upgrade. One time I actually did have 4 upgrade points by the time I finished Panessa, but that has not happened in a long time, so generally you're not going to have enough then. So pay attention to see when you can get this. So now we need to go get our tank upgrade. It's called a Batmobile. So after we get our tank upgrade, we want to go to the Botanical Gardens. So,
Alfred.
If you don't know where it is, you can always set the marker. Now, in general, as I mentioned before, you want to drive there. It's faster to drive there than to fly there. The issue with driving there is that you will run into tanks. And like this one spotted me. On easy, I like to actually, I don't fight these tanks. You can just ignore them and drive by them. On hard, I do like to fight them just to recharge my XP or my health, because I don't like going into the next tank fight without low on health. And if you go low, if you like ignore the tanks, then they can shoot you and they can deplete your health a lot, especially on hard. So on hard I do fight them, but you don't have to. And on easy I don't fight them. So now we go to the checkpoint. You don't need to have this objective selected to trigger it. I have it because I selected it just to sort of show you where it is, but you don't need to have it. So we get here, we encounter this next tank fight. So this tank fight's not too bad. It would have obviously be a little easier. So these twin drones use the Vulcan gun to do that and to destroy them until we have the turret shot upgrade. Use your weapons generator if you can. If you stay close to Ivy's plant, then you'll actually be able to. Ivy will help you take out some of these tanks, which does help a little bit. So again, with this tank fight, try to make sure that you have a charged weapons generator by the end of it, because we are going to have a Cobra fight right after this, and it is helpful to use the weapons generator to hack one of the Cobras, especially in this next Cobra fight. So I'm not going to have it fully charged up, which is also fine. If you don't have it fully charged up, you just hack a drone a little bit later. So we will destroy. So we destroyed these guys.
The attack drones are destroyed. We can't take Ivy with.
So what I like to do afterwards is I like to face this station and where this tree was.
Be wary, Batman.
If you face this way, the Cobras will spawn in a certain way that is a little bit more predictable.
I can't help you further, Batman. I'm not strong enough yet.
So when they spawn this way, basically you'll always have this Cobra go down this road, so you can shoot him.
We've lost the Cobra.
So the annoying thing about this Cobra battle is that these drones, when they're like idle, they will do a 360-degree scan occasionally, so you need to watch out for that. Make sure that, pay attention to that, make sure that you're not in the way when they're doing that. So now we have enough to hack a drone, so we'll hack this one. He's gonna get into a tank battle with someone, hopefully.
fire the target.
Resume normal patrol, Commander.
Sir.
So you can also lure them, so I'll lure this guy.
Drone
So now there's a
offline.
drone.
2 Cobras
Oops,
inbound.
this drone here spotted me. That's okay. They'll,
Sir, we've got 3 Cobras left in the field.
oops. Oh, see that.
Cobra down.
So you see that our hacked drone just destroyed a Cobra. So now there's just, he actually just, I think he destroyed either 1 or 2 Cobras. So we can, oops, okay. Yeah, so because these guys can spin, it gets a little bit, okay. So let's use that.
We've lost 1. Programming Cobra to respond.
So that's the Cobra fight. Hacking a Cobra in this one is extremely helpful, particularly because these Cobras spin around.
I should take Ivy back to GCPD before
So-
the Arkham Knight launches another assault. It's too dangerous to leave her exposed.
So now the Cloudburst gets released, so everything is cloudy. So now we need to go to Stagg's airship. So Stagg's airship is
bad.
this way, so you just do a bunch of grapple cancels to get there.
Batmobile's power core. What will you do?
I'm going after Stagg. He created the Cloudburst. He'll have the means to destroy it.
Very astute, Master Bruce. I only hope you can find him. But please, sir, be careful of the gas.
Do you see this, Batman? Your poisoned, desolate city. It's people tearing out each other's throats, their own throats in terror. The world sees it too. Next, the world.
I don't really have a route for these glides, I just kind of just do them. So here there's going to be one guy with a shield, so freeze him, and then you don't have to worry about him for a bit.
Fool thinks that when their worst fears come to pass, a hero might come and save them. And you're
And then these shield guys, you kind of have to beat them down. You can't just use your freeze grenade on them. If you do, they'll basically block your punch with the shield. So just beat them down.
Stagg's increased the level of security since we last spoke.
So
Guess he
you
knew I'd be back.
do
Only way
this
past this
next
door
voice
is via
synthesizer thing.
voice print.
For this one, the positioning of the vertical one is the same as Harley, but then the horizontal one is going to be, you're going to move it to the right. So vertically you want it to be about right here again, then horizontally you want it to be about right here. So that's kind of the visual cue for this voice synthesizer.
Voice calibration complete.
So now you open this. So
Simon
you do the
Stagg.
next Predator route kind of in a similar way, or I do it in a similar way between easy and hard. So one thing to note is that here there are 2 drones, and these
Stagg got out
drones,
somehow.
even on easy, can do a lot of
militia won't
damage
share
on
him if they
you,
track him down.
relatively
I should
speaking.
deal with them first
So,
before I look for him.
The first thing I do is I blind the drone connected to the guy
I've
on the right.
synthesized the Arkham Knight's voice.
So that drone.
I should be able to order
Then
him
I take
around.
out the drone person who's on the left. I do a silent takedown on him so I don't alert anybody. Then I grapple over here. I try to do a silent takedown on this guy as well. And then because you did silent takedowns, you have enough time for. There's a medic below you that walks by you, or walks by where you're gonna land. So you take out then this next drone guy. Now on hard, I like to go into the grate immediately. You'll have this medic here, and you'll have this guy here. If they get close enough, you can do a fear takedown on them. So then you're gonna have this medic and this other guy come in. Since I don't have a fear takedown, I'll just do a silent takedown on this guy. But you can do a loud takedown as well. Depends on how careful you want to be. So then you take this guy out, and then this last guy, you can just take him out as well. Yeah, and basically the fight is very similar on easy and hard. It's just on hard you don't need. On hard I hide in the floor grate a lot more often than I do on easy. On easy you don't hide at all. You kind of just punch people. So now Stagg. Then you go to Stagg. So Stagg. So we enter from. We entered from right here. This was the cage that Stagg was locked in before, and so.
Okay, Stagg. Where are you hiding?
Oops. So you don't need to do this. He's basically going to try to scan the handprints, but basically, if you go to the far right of the room, then you'll basically see Stagg hiding in the floor. So, get him out.
Alfred, Stagg's...
So yeah, that's how you do that. So now we can leave the airship. Make sure you have your remote hacking device selected, because there's going to be a drone out here, and you wanna blind it and then run on over. So now what we need to do is we need to go get the Batmobile. So the Batmobile, there's a nice marker for it, so just do some grapple cancels to get there.
How did you persuade Poison Ivy to come rallying to the aid of a city she despises? Threat, blackmail, charm. She's dying. My toxin strikes at the minds of humans, but it leeches the life from her. Dr. Isley cannot stop me, but how noble you were to make her Gotham's first line of defense.
So, prepare the Batmobile. So I like to use controller to pull out and push in the Batmobile thing that we use to be able to drive through the Cloudburst.
I need to remove the power core slowly, or the failsafe lock will kick in.
This is it, Bats.
And don't pull it out too quickly. It's very easy to pull it out too quickly.
Creeping into that demented mind of ours. I sure can. I'm getting stronger, Bruce.
This guy's gonna always attack you, so counter him.
Breath you take.
Sir, you're running out of time. Get out of there now.
Stay calm. Take deep, slow breaths. Deep, slow breaths. All that effort must be tiring you out. You're getting sleepy, Bats. Rock-a-bye bat. I'll get in.
So optimally, when you push this in, you would ideally push it in before Joker says "Rockabye Batsy," but I was a little bit slower. It's not that big of a deal. So Batman gets in the car. It takes a bit of time before he can assume control. So just to point out, so this is where we are now on Miagani Island. So after this, what we're going to be doing is we're going to have to scan for Ivy's plant in Founders Island called Ayana. So what we do now, where the place where we scan is by the cemetery. So the cemetery is about like here. So I'll just set a marker. So you'll eventually learn this just as you do more runs, but I'll just put the map marker.
Give me a moment, Alfred.
So when the Joker pops up, you're able to assume control over the car again. So we'll drive on over. So the route I go is it's not the fastest route, but it's pretty easy. So drive through here, turn right, drive past the orphanage on our left.
Struggle to track the Cloudburst.
Ivy, I can't track the Cloudburst in this gas.
So then turn right up here.
I can't, Batman. My plans are too
I actually like to then drive by this
There's a tree buried deep beneath Founders
by
Island.
this way.
Miagani
You don't have to. There are other ways, but anyway. So this is where we scan. So you want to scan. So there's that tree I just knocked down. Scan basically a little bit behind it, or and to the left of it. So this will scan it properly. So now we want to go to Port Adams, which is right here. So I'll just put a marker again. The way I get there is I just
deep enough to release it.
One moment, sir. The new extension to the Gotham subway is under construction directly beneath.
If you don't know where it is, you can wait a little bit for this dialogue to happen.
It's a start.
And then you'll be able to have a marker to get to Port Adams, but that's a little bit slower. It's a bit faster to know where it is. If you don't know where it is, just set a marker. So, no big deal. So this is the Port Adams tank fight. I find this tank fight pretty difficult. So the main thing you want to do is make sure you shoot these flying drones. So there are 4 flying drones. You want to just destroy at least 3 of them, and in the meantime, like while I'm waiting to find them, I sort of destroy other tanks around here. I do like to, on hard, I like to destroy this with a missile barrage. And then once you do that, you can ignore the remaining tanks and just go up here. So one thing is that I didn't pay attention to my upgrades. So normally you would actually want to have enough upgrade points to get this turret shot damage, but I am barely below. So unfortunately I can't get it yet, but I can get it after this fight. So
Rattler down. Twin Rattler hit.
So once you destroy all these tanks, you have to wait a little bit because there's still tanks outside that you haven't destroyed, so it's going to say secure area to continue if you try to pull this. The reason why we spent the time destroying those flying drones is that the flying drones can actually see you when you're pulling this, and if you have too many of them, they'll see you and you will have to wait a bit longer. You have to either destroy them or wait till they stop seeing you before you can pull this. It's a little annoying, so I try to make sure to destroy at least 3 of them before going back here. So now we go to the subway. So one thing that I had trouble with when I was starting out was driving on the sides of walls. One thing that made it a lot easier for me was switching to first-person mode in the Batmobile, because then the camera is a bit more. I like the camera better in first-person mode when going on the sides of walls. So now we don't need to go on the side of a wall. So this is you basically have to go through these tanks, so you have to hack them. The easiest way is you hack this. You then hack this.
The target's out of range.
So normally then what you would do is you would hack this, you would get into corner cover, hack this tank, and when that tank turns around, you hack this, and then you go here. I hack this, and then you would grapple. But so you don't have. There's a slightly faster way of doing it. Of doing this, where instead of hacking this, so basically we come from here, right? We hack this first tank, then this tank up here, we hack it. Then what you can do is you can use the line launcher. So the tanks are going to see you and shoot at you. Usually they'll do some damage. Then what you do is you come up here and you wait to grapple until once you hear the militia say something, or Arkham Knight say something. If you grapple before then, these tanks will see you and shoot you. So now we grapple, swing, cancel, open the gate. So I like to shoot these tanks. On hard, I like to actually charge up my weapons generator just for the next tank fight, but like for these last 4 tanks, optimally you'll actually use the weapons generator for that. But on hard, I just like to shoot them to charge up my weapons generator. So now we have enough upgrade points to get our tank upgrade. So I like to get the turret shot because there are going to be a lot of twin drones and the other drones that basically otherwise would require you to use the Vulcan gun to shoot. You don't have to get this now. You could get this upgrade later and have enough points to refill your health in these upcoming tank fights and Cobra battles. But I prefer to just get this at this point because of if I die, I'll generally just reset the run. So I'll get the tank upgrade sort of at your when you can. Pay attention to your XP.
Fear isn't pure biology, Batman. It's
so one thing is that when you go through this debris, some of the debris can get stuck in front of this. So like for example, right now there's some debris stuck in front of it. Normally it's fine, but sometimes it can get stuck in such a way that you can't actually open this. So I try to make sure to clear it out when I'm in tank mode. So now we go here, oops. Yeah, be careful of that van. That van is very strong, very sturdy. So you can unlock this, it'll pull the ramp down, and then you don't have to lock it. Normally, casually you would lock it, but you can actually just drive up the ramp without locking it. So now I get to first person mode. You don't have to, I know a lot of people don't, but because you have to drive on walls here, I think first person mode is easier.
You promised that Gotham would be safe.
So now we have another ramp that we need to go up. So normally what you do is you launch out of here, you go up here and unlock the ramp.
And now, Dark Knight,
then you use your Batmobile, you carefully get onto the back of the ramp, you then flip the ramp so that it's facing this way, and then you lock it. And so then ideally you would be able to, then you would just drive up here. But you can actually avoid doing all of this ramp stuff with a very, very difficult, whoops. Okay, so let's just say this is what we had before. So there's a very difficult way of driving and basically launching yourself over this gap. So what you want to do is you want to aim for this ramp so that you actually drive over it, and then you want to sideswipe, so you press space and then so basically sideswiping is you press space and a direction. So space and left will sideswipe you left. So here you want to sideswipe left. So I'm going to try this a few times. It's very difficult. Oh, okay, so I got it. So basically you accelerate and then sideswipe left at a certain point, and it'll basically launch you. You'll basically be launched over that railing here, and you'll get enough height to actually clear this. It's really difficult and very inconsistent. Basically, when I timed it, that jump saves about takes about maybe like 5 or 10 seconds to jump over there. With the car, it takes about 30 seconds to lower the ramp and drive over it. So you can do this jump about 3 times before you lose time relative to the other way.
Are you saying the Arkham Knight is a co-conspirator?
So now we go here. So go up the escalator, then turn left. If you don't know where to go, just scan.
You're getting closer. She's not dead.
Yeah, we go left.
I can bring her back.
So next we have this Divinity Church tank fight. So on hard, I find this tank fight pretty difficult if you stay in the middle here. So what I like to do, it's a bit slower, but I get behind the church here, and then basically basically you'll be attacked only from 2 directions. And I find that a little bit easier to deal with. So the nice thing about this drone hack is that you have these twin drones and these so you can take out these guys with 1 hit now, and you can take out this guy with 1 hit now.
With multiple organic defenses. Ivy's still helping him. Send in more drones.
I can help you crush these tanks, Batman.
Use your weapons generator.
Churchyard.
We lost one, sir. He's making you look like a fool. You cannot let her harden the bark. We'll never get it down. It's like he knows exactly where to strike.
And so on hard, I like to stay behind here. On easy, I just stay in the middle. It's a little bit faster to just stay in the middle. You have more tanks attacking you, you can destroy more tanks more quickly.
Dragon offline. Scarecrow, Divinity's assault's taking heavy losses.
I can help you crush these tanks, Batman, but you must stay close to the churchyard.
Ivy isn't strong enough to purify Gotham. No one is.
So, there's going to be this missile launcher here. I like to actually use the weapons generator on it. It's technically less efficient because those things go down in 3 shots, but I have a hard time aiming at that sometimes, so I just like to do that. And these last couple, sometimes they'll be like in really weird spots that aren't like obvious. Yeah, you just deal with them.
Wipe them out, sir. We're gonna need more tanks.
So next we go to the Cloudburst Cobras. So when you go here, you're gonna have the Cobras spawn in a very consistent way. So they'll spawn like this. I like to go to the left, and usually what happens, depending on the position of the Batmobile, is you'll have one Cobra going down this alley, and another one going down this alley. So I destroy these 2 Cobras first. So then, I'm gonna get hit. Yeah, so these Cobras do an absurd amount of damage on all difficulties. So be careful. I might die. And you don't have any armor upgrades to help recover, so be a little bit, or I don't have any, so be a little bit careful. I'll just use the weapons generator, it's a little easier.
We've lost one. Programming Cobra to respond.
So then, for the rest of the Cobras, I just be a little careful. It's a little bit annoying to die to these and have to do the whole thing over again. So right now I'm trying to play it very safe because I have very low health. So let's lure him.
Cobra drone offline.
So none of these guys got lured, so now I have to go to them basically.
Protect the Cloudburst. Withdraw.
So the next, so you can roughly see where the Cobras are with the radar. So basically follow the radar. And try to make sure that you have all of your weapons generator charged up, all 4 bars. It'll be useful for when we take out the Cloudburst a little bit later. So this is going to be tight. Okay. So we destroyed the Cobras. Now we have the Cloudburst Tank. So if you see it, it's right on our left. So what I like to do is shoot in front of it, because that'll basically, well, should basically lure it. But it didn't work.
I'm reconfiguring your scanner to locate the vehicle's coolant lines.
So you're not able to scan the Cloudburst until after Alfred says that dialogue. So now, the way to do this Cloudburst fight is we're going to want to lure the Cloudburst to the clock tower. If you don't know where the clock tower is, just quickly make a marker here.
Close to the surface of the tank.
It's even worth doing that. Just you'll see why in a bit. So now we shoot the tank. Make your way to the clock tower. Try to take like a bunch of turns. Oops. Try to take some turns. That way you don't get shot by the Cloudburst Tank. So now we're at the clock tower, and what we basically want to do is circle the clock tower.
Leave now. You cannot win! You will have your chance to kill him. I'm not waiting anymore.
So now, after we shoot the Cloudburst, circle this clock tower area. So we'll see that he's about to go to the left. What happens is the Cloudburst Cobra or the Cloudburst Tank tries to cut you off. If it's already around the corner, it's gonna go that way. But now it's gonna try to cut me off on the right. Oops. And then he's gonna try to cut me off on the left. So go down.
Coward!
This is a pretty intense part of the run, in my opinion, but it's not too bad.
Is not bait.
Alright, so now we have... I'm gonna wait for him to not be able to see me before I...
This tank was built to destroy you! You can't match this power!
And you want to avoid getting hit by it, especially on hard. But even on easy, like, if you're not careful, you can actually die pretty easily to this. And also, more importantly, you want to have your weapons generator charged up. And when you get hit, it depletes your weapons generator. So this one's a bit long, but... So he's trying to cut me off on the right, so I'm going to go left. He's trying to cut me off on the left, so go right.
The Cloudburst won't.
So now we have last shot, so shoot him. So now, the first thing you want to do is when your health bar shows up, to use your weapons generator on it. So you don't need to, if you have full health, you don't need to pay that much attention to your own health. But what you do want to do is you want to lure the Cloudburst Tank underneath the clock tower. That way, these missiles that he's shooting at you aren't going to actually hit you. They're gonna hit the ceiling of the clock tower. So on easy, you don't need to worry about your health very much. On hard, you might want to be a little more careful. But anyway, so that's the Cloudburst Tank, and that's kind of how you do it. So then you're gonna punch the Arkham Knight a few times. And so because we lured the Cloudburst under the clock tower and destroyed it under the clock tower, it's going to spawn us here, right next to the clock tower, which is technically the closest spawn point to Miagani, where we need to head to next. So that's why we lure the Cloudburst Tank under the clock tower. There's also like a trophy here for 100%, so that's also helpful. So now we want to go to that marker over there, so I grapple cancel here, then grapple cancel here.
I will exact vengeance for this upon you and all your allies, like poison.
Then I'd like to grapple and cancel off of the statue.
She's paying the price for opposing me right now.
And grapple cancel off of the railing here. And then go to see Ivy, and Ivy dies here.
I think I hear people screaming down. Ivy!
So, yeah, I think that this is a good point. I think this is a good end to this part of the walkthrough, or the tutorial. So I'll I'll get to the next part. I'll get to the next part in the next
You
video.
actually
So thank you for
believe you're
watching.
one, don't you,